I want to tell you a story about a guy named David. No, not that King David. Our David. This one plays guitar on the worship team, leads a small group, and has a notes app full of sermon takeaways. He's the guy you'd call a solid Christian. But David has a secret. It lives in his phone, in the late hours of the night, in a cycle of stumble, shame, silence, and repeat. He's trapped in a pattern of sexual sin he can't seem to break. Every time it happens, he does the same thing. He feels a wave of crushing guilt, shuts down, avoids his Bible, puts on a smile for church, and prays a quiet, desperate "I'm sorry" into the void, hoping God hears him through the static of his shame. He thinks this is the right response. It's humble, right? It's penitent, but it's also exactly what keeps him stuck. One Tuesday, after yet another failure, David was so exhausted by the cycle that he just sat on the edge of his bed, head in his hands, and for the first time, instead of following his usual script, he did something different. He did what I call the smart things. Not because he was clever, but because he was finally desperate enough to break the manual of shame he'd been reading from. Here are the 4 things David did that changed everything. Most ignore them, but he didn't. Thing 1. He called it what it was out loud. Instead of letting it be a vague cloud of "I messed up again," David spoke it. Alone in his car, he said, "God, I chose lust. I chose pornography. I chose my own temporary satisfaction over my covenant with you and my own dignity." It was painful, but in naming it, he robbed it of its shadowy power. He stopped minimizing. Sin thrives in ambiguity. Grace meets us in specificity. By being brutally honest, he took the first step out of the fog. Thing 2, he ran toward community, not away from it. This was the hardest part. David's instinct was to isolate, to hide until he felt clean enough to be around other Christians. But that week, he forced himself to go to his small group. He didn't share his struggle that night, but he showed up. He let people pray for general strength. He listened. A week later, he texted a trusted, mature friend just 3 words: "I'm struggling badly." That text was his lifeline. It broke the isolation that sin demands. He wasn't meant to fight this alone. And finally, he stopped trying to. Thing 3. He replaced the ritual of shame with a ritual of grace. David's old ritual was sin, feel shame, mentally beat himself up for days, try to earn God's favor by reading extra chapters. It was a works-based penance. This time, he did something radical. He opened his Bible not to find more rules, but to find a person. He went straight to the Psalms. He read aloud, "The Lord is compassionate and gracious, slow to anger, abounding in love. He does not treat us as our sins deserve." He didn't just ask for forgiveness, he received it. He sat in it. He replaced the ritual of self-punishment with the ritual of receiving grace. This shifted his focus from his own failure to God's unchanging character. Thing 4, he made a practical plan for next time. Before, his entire plan was try harder. This time, David got practical. He asked, what was the trigger? Boredom, stress, loneliness. He identified it, late night scrolling when he felt anxious. So, he made a plan. He bought an old school alarm clock and started charging his phone in the kitchen at night. He downloaded a Bible app that would be the first thing to open. He wrote down to friends he could call when he felt the tug of temptation. He stopped just praying for deliverance and started preparing for battle. David's story didn't end with never stumbling again. He is not a perfect man, but the cycle broke. The shame lost its voice. The silence was replaced by accountability. The hopelessness was replaced by a practical, grace-filled path forward. The difference between a stuck Christian and a growing Christian isn't the absence of failure. It's what you do in the minutes and hours right after. Most ignore these steps because they feel counterintuitive. They require vulnerability, honesty, and accepting grace we don't feel we deserve. But smart Christians know this. The enemy's goal after you sin is to keep you in the shadows. God's goal is to restore you in the light. So, if this is you today stuck in that silent cycle, break the script. Do what David did. Name it. Reach out. Receive grace. Make a plan. You are not defined by your fall. You are defined by the God who is eager to pick you up every single time. Post which one of these 4 things do you need to start doing today. Let's talk about it in the comments. And if this story helped you, share it. Someone else needs to know they're not alone. See you next time.